Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and I know my mic sounds like absolute shit right now, but the thing is, my previous microphone has recently just broke, and I'm gonna get a new one soon. But for now, I have to use this webcam microphone, which is just terrible quality. I know it's absolutely trash, but it's just gonna be for this video, maybe another video after this, because I'm not gonna be able to get it for a few more days, and I want to be able to upload something. So today I'm uploading a review to the movie Death Note, which the Netflix movie that just came out a few days ago on Friday, and it's a Netflix original movie, and it is based off of the anime called Death Note, which is the whole plot of the story is this kid named Light gets this book dropped by Ryuk, who was this like spiked-looking monster demon thingy, and he gets this book that he puts any name and he thinks of a face of the name while he's putting it down in the book, it is able to automatically kill the person in any way he wants as well, which causes for some really interesting moments and stuff like that where he doesn't really know if he should put a name down or not, where he doesn't maybe have a name or he has a face and stuff like that, and it's a really interesting story, and they decided to make an American adaptation of it, and I gotta say, I did not see the anime. I didn't, and I'm not gonna go watch it. This is a review coming from a person who does not seen the anime, who is not gonna see it. I'm just not interested in anime and all those Japanese things. I'm just not interested in it at all. But this movie was very, very good. I'm sorry. I know people are going to hate me for that because I've already seen so many reviews, so many people saying this was the worst movie they've ever saw and it was terrible. But everyone saying that are people who are only complaining that it's not the same as the source material from the anime. And I'm just sitting here like, well, does it really have to be? I mean, even if I did see the anime, why would it have to be the same exact movie as the anime, just in a live action form? Like, can't you accept a little bit of change? I mean, I accept change. Like for The Walking Dead, for example, the comics to the show, I'm completely fine when they change storylines around, they change characters around, they change things around. There are certain things that just need to stay the same, but it's not like this is completely different to the anime. I did watch some clips of the anime just to see how different it is, and it's pretty similar in terms of the characters and stuff like that. I mean, obviously they look very different because it's an American adaptation. People are mad, oh, they're whitewashing it. Oh, they don't want it. They're being racist towards Japanese people. So no, they're making an American adaptation, and that's fine. I don't know why people have to make race such a big deal. Like people are telling me that's the worst part of the movie is the fact that the people aren't Japanese. It's like, dude, who fucking cares? Why are races such a big fucking deal? I mean, it's an American movie. It's made for Americans. It's not made for people from Japan. It's just not. They're taking the adaptation because a lot of Americans are not interested in anime. I mean, there are some out there, but there's not as many as people who are interested in it. And they're making an adaptation where it's an American movie where people who are American will actually want to see it, and maybe even shine more light on the anime. Maybe even make more people be interested in that stuff. I mean, I'm sure as hell I'm not getting interested in that, but there are people who are getting interested in that because of this movie, since it's one of the only adaptations from an anime movie that we've ever seen in like history. And look, it's not the perfect movie. It's not at all. It has a lot of problems, and trust me, from someone who hasn't seen the anime, there's a lot of writing issues, there's a lot of acting problems, there's a lot of just overall issues with the script and the plot, and some plot holes and stuff like that. But I had more issues with it until I realized they're actually making a second one, because there was a lot of loose ends at the end, and I was like, wow, this is stupid. They just ended it on such like a bad note to end a movie. But then I found out they're making a second one, and I was like, oh, well, if they're making a second one, then that doesn't really matter. They can patch up all those loose ends. So that takes away a lot of criticisms that I personally have previously had. But honestly, I enjoyed a lot of elements of it. I'm going to talk about the things I enjoyed, the things I didn't enjoy, and also just getting out of, I read this one thing. People were mad, why is L black, stuff like that. I'm like, I don't understand why race has to become such a big issue in movies. Like, why is race gotta matter? I mean, there's people who claim they're not racist, but then they're out here complaining that they made it non-Japanese and they made it American, and they made it white characters, and I guess one black character. People were mad about that. I'm like, dude, who fucking cares? If anything, you're being racist. I mean, it's just common sense. I'm more interested in watching people of my own kind and that's Americans, than the people from Japan. I'm just more interested in watching Americans, and that's what this movie is. It is based in Seattle, and it is taking the Japanese anime, turning it into a an American movie, and it's still keeping some of those Japanese elements. It has a lot of Japanese elements to it, like some of the music in the background. Obviously, Ryuk is very similar. It looks like something straight out of fucking Godzilla, one of those Japan movies. They have a whole bunch of Japan characters in it. They have a whole scene in Japan. They have a whole bunch of stuff going on in Japan. They kept it as Japanese as they could while keeping it an American movie, and I applaud them for that. I think they did a good job. Now, a lot of things people complain about. Also, they complain about the characters. They said the Light and L back and forth. They didn't really have that in the movie when they had it in the anime. Personally, I think they're going to continue that in the second one. And I think a lot of people who were complaining that they didn't have enough of that, I think they're going to get that, because I don't think L put down Light's name in the book personally, because I think he thinks Mia might be the one doing all this bad stuff, and that Light was kind of just being manipulated by her, and that's kind of what he was thinking. I think he maybe might have put down Light's dad's name. I don't know exactly what he did, but I'm sure as hell he didn't put down Light's name, because they're going to be making a whole second one, so obviously you can't just have that. I definitely didn't like how they killed off Mia. I mean, I feel like they could have expanded her story, because a lot of the character decisions, like, I don't think characters making bad decisions is bad writing. I don't think it is, because a lot of people hate that. They're like, oh, when characters make bad decisions, it's terrible writing. No, it's realistic. I mean, people make bad decisions in real life all the time. But then there's some decisions that characters make that you can tell it is just beyond stupid compared to that what that character should have done. And it's like you know that character would have never made that decision, and you know the only reason they made that decision was to advance a specific plot line. And in this case, it was Light putting down Mia's name. I don't know if there's something behind that, but why the fuck did he put down Mia's name? I mean, there was absolutely no reason to do that. He's like, oh, I thought you wouldn't take the book. How the fuck were you supposed to know? Why didn't you just not put the name down in the first place? I mean, there really was no reason to put her name down. I mean, wait, if you put her name down, you automatically die anyways? You know, you put it away to die? Like, there's a lot of loose ends they didn't really cover up, and I guess it could be covered up in the second one, but there's still something to complain about in the first one. With a lot of these loose ends and a lot of these plot holes, it's like, wait, like, how does this, how does that work? Like, she took the book, but how does that make? I don't know. It was confusing, the whole thing. I just don't think they should have killed off Mia. I think she had some more storyline to go for, and they had more interesting things to go for her character. And I don't know. I feel like they've tried fitting so much story in such a small amount of time. I feel like this would work a lot better as a TV series, or at least as a longer movie. Maybe like 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours and like 20 minutes, something like that. It could have been a lot longer than an hour and 40 minutes, because there was so much story and it was just going by so fast. I mean, they were literally like one scene that killed Kenny, then he killed his mom's killer, and then the next moment he's telling this girl about everything, and then the boom, they're killing like all these criminals. Like, it could have gone a lot slower than that. I feel like it was way too fast paced of a movie, and it kind of just rushed through specific plot lines way too quickly that it shouldn't have. And that's my biggest complaint with the movie, is the fact that it just rushed through so much so fast, and how characters just got used to things so fast. Like, I don't think Light should have put down Kenny's name that quickly. I mean, come on, if he, I mean, I'm sure he was just doing it out of curiosity. I really didn't think he thought it was gonna work. Honestly, I think Light just thought he was fucking sleeping at first, but he put the name down, he sees what happens, and then he was traumatized after that. I just feel like it should have gone a little bit slower than that. He should have been like, no, I'm not putting the name down. He should have actually refused to do it and like walked away, tried walking away maybe, I don't know. And then Ryuk would eventually talk him into killing his mom's killer maybe, and that should have been the first victim, not Kenny. I feel like Kenny was more of a, it shouldn't have been the first victim, in my personal opinion. I mean, they actually never traced that death back to Kira, which was interesting. A lot of the stuff, how Elle found out that it was Light, he dialed it down way too quickly. I feel like it would have gone on longer, the investigations, and he would have taken a longer time to figure it out. I mean, it was just really weird how he's like, oh, he able to dial all the way down to Seattle in like a couple like fucking days, and then he was automatically able to dial it into that police department. He was able to dial it down to Eternal's family, and then boom, down the Light. And I don't think Light should have admitted to being Kira as fast as he did. I mean, he didn't admit to it specifically, but he kind of, you can tell he kind of did when he was in that shop with, or that like cafe place with Elle. I feel like they should have done more back and forth with each other. You know, they could have done more between those characters. Maybe had more back and forth. I mean, a lot of characters were pissed about not having enough back and forth. So maybe that was a perfect time to do some back and forth. Maybe they could have added some back and forth in that specific moments, and maybe that would have pleased people. I guess I don't know. You know, I just feel like they could have done a lot more with this movie if they had a lot more time to do it. Because personally, I feel like they didn't really have enough time just because it was an hour and 40 minutes, and I feel like they were forced to, deal with that amount of time. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like they could have had a lot more. I feel like there probably was a lot of deleted scenes as well that we just didn't get to see, and maybe they'll show them eventually. I don't know how Netflix movies work with deleted scenes. You know, they don't usually just pop up with deleted scenes on Netflix. Usually, I don't know how it works. But like I said, personally, I think it was a good movie. It was entertaining, and that's honestly all I need in a movie. Honestly, like I don't need a movie to be amazing writing, amazing acting, amazing directing, just incredible for everything. All I need it to be is entertaining and just be like. All I have to do is at the end of the movie just think to myself, was that worth the past like an hour, 2 hours in my time? Was that you know did that feel like it was worth my time? And if it was, then it's in my opinion, it's an enjoyable movie. I don't think this movie was great. I don't think this movie was past good. I mean, maybe if I saw the anime, maybe if I was obsessed with the anime, maybe I'd hate this movie. But personally, I don't like to compare things to source material like The Walking Dead. I don't compare it to the comics. I don't say, oh, it needs to be the same as the comics. No, no, it's its own thing. And even in this case, it's even more of its own thing. It's a fucking adaptation for Americans. So, if you're going to complain about whitewashing, if you're going to complain about all that crap, you can suck my Chinese nuts. Alright, boys? So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys hit the shit out of that fucking dislike button, because I already know I'm going to get a shit ton of dislikes for two reasons. I'm going to get dislikes because of this terrible ass mic quality. And I'm also going to get dislikes because I'm supporting a movie where people say it's absolute shit. And I'm like one of the only people actually saying I actually kind of enjoyed it. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And, oh, one more thing. I think Ryugi is badass as fuck. Whatever his name is, William Dafoe did a fucking incredible job as Ryuk. Really reminded me of the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. That's all I was thinking about when I heard him, which is pretty funny. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.